Hello everyone, welcome back to another Laserdisc video. My name is Adam, and in today's video I want to go through, I had a collection back in, say, like, I think I started collecting Laserdiscs in 2014, 2015, and by 2016, maybe 2017, I was in a position where I sold a lot with the player. The player that I had was the CLD 2950, I believe. And I'm going to put some pictures up here that I took just on my old, iPhone camera as it was being projected on the wall. So, the pictures aren't the best, but they're the only representation I have of the picture and some of the discs that I had. Some of which I've actually turned the photo black and white because it looked cooler, in black and white. Yeah, I started collecting because it was a format that I've always wanted to collect back in the day, but never could afford to do it. So as I became an adult, I got a job, I found myself in a position where I could. I can't remember the very first one I bought, but I do remember getting the player with a load of discs, and I believe it was sent to me through the mail. I remember getting a massive box with the player and a few films inside, and that kind of kicked me off being able to watch and play some films. The way I used to hook it up is I had this very cheapy converter box. It was like 30 quid off Amazon, which had the composite cable going in. It had a switch for 1080p or 720p, and then a HDMI out to the TV or the projector. And it didn't actually, it stretched the image at the end of the day. It only just output the 4:3 frame. So if I wanted to fill the TV screen, it was a stretched image, or I could just zoom heavily in. And that's all I had access to at the time. Didn't have access to a decent scaler like I've got now. I didn't have access to any, massive line doublers or anything like that, or even a recordable DVD player that it could pass through. So it's really just what I had at the time. But I made it work. It was awesome, and I started to buy and collect laser discs. I never sold any. I never got into that. I only went out and sought the ones that I wanted, and some were sourced locally, where I'd drive to that location and pick it up. So most of them were mailed to me, either from America or from the UK, and I never bought one from Japan. I never had a Japanese. Anyway, recently, obviously, I've gotten back into getting Laserdiscs because I really do miss watching them. I really do miss having them, and I really wish I hadn't bought sold my player in the first instance. Basically, the reason why I had 340 films with a decent player. A lot of the films I had were very rare. There was one title in particular that nobody else had, and I was in a position where the partner I was with at the time needed money. And there was no ability to take from the business, utilize that. And so I was kind of talked into, well, generate some money by getting rid of this, which if it's going to guarantee £500 at least, then do it, And so, foolishly at the time, you think you're in love. I don't think I'd ever ask a partner to sell a collection of theirs off for cash just to get some money, That is something I'd never do. And I suppose if you're really in love with somebody, they wouldn't ask you to do that either. So the fact that I was really kind of almost pressured, into it. So I basically put my entire collection up, I think, on Facebook, and somebody had driven 2 hours and paid £600 for my player and all 340 films. Anyway, I've obviously getting back into it. I still get emails from that original account to my email address. And I tried to log in when I first started getting back into Laserdiscs recently. and I couldn't remember the password. And they don't have, if you've forgotten your password, you know, you can recreate it. They don't have that ability. It just says coming soon. So I was like, I really wanted to know, because I couldn't really remember every single disc. So, and obviously I've got a new account now with a different email address. So anyway, yesterday I actually remembered the password after trying multiple ones, because I knew my username because I was still getting the emails, but I didn't know the password. I figured out the password and I was like, oh hey, and now I could finally get a printout of all the titles that I had. I did not realize that I actually had the entire Signature Collection range. Like, that was like, wow. So, like, some notable standouts, which now evidently are very rare, like Frighteners, goes for like 280 quid on eBay. That's just mental. I think I got mine for 30 quid back in the day. So 340 films. Now, the most rare disc I had, which there's not a lot of information on the Laserdisc database about it. I put a post up in the forums about this disc because I had the copy, and it was called The Royal Wedding, and it was the marriage of Princess Diana and Prince Charles. And it was a 2-hour two-sided, 2-hour, and it just came in a job lot that I bought, you know, in all honesty. The picture quality, it's full screen, 4:3. I mean, I'm going to guess that's like Academy ratio and not been cropped, because I don't think it was like filmed in widescreen or anything. It was just what was transmitted on the telly at the time, basically, the broadcast. And it was in stereo analog, and the picture quality was really nice, very clear. It was almost as if it was filmed yesterday. And it started off, from memory, it started off with, you know, the procession leading up to the church of the carriage, which honestly looked like something out of Walt Disney fairy tale. And then going into the church, it had footage from within for the ceremony. It had a commentator, I believe, if I can remember correctly. I don't remember much about it. I personally, at the time, wasn't that bothered, because I wasn't like, you know. So I wasn't really dead into it, and there was a lot of information on the back of the disc as well, the jacket, which I posted on the forums, which hasn't made its way to the only single version that is actually on the database now. So that was probably my most rarest disc. But going through my list here, apart from the Signature Collection ones, I had both American Werewolf in London and Paris, which I don't see Paris. It's not like a rare one, but I don't see it obviously that much. Airplane, that was a good quality transfer. All the Alien films, obviously. I had multiple copies. So I had the Signature Collection of Apollo 13, but I also, by the looks of it, had the NTSC version. I think it's because I enjoyed the jacket art. I had a lot of Disney ones. I had 2 copies of the Aristocrats for some reason. Both NTSC. One was the CAV version, so it was probably like a special edition. I had the 55th anniversary limited edition Bambi, which all the Disney flicks, up to a certain point, did like a collector's edition or a box set of the films. They're the ones that I would go after initially, but I do enjoy the artwork on the non-special edition ones. They released them, I think, in the 90s, and there was just something about the artwork which makes it a collectible almost. I had Blade, which I've never seen really that much going for. I had the special edition. I had loads of Criterion discs. I haven't got a single Criterion now, by the way, yet. But I had the Blade Runner Criterion. I had the Blair Witch Project on Laserdisc. You know, can you believe it? I had Boogie Nights. I had the film Bound, the uncut version, special edition. That was a really good, transfer. I had the Criterion edition of Bram Stoker's Dracula. I've got the special edition now, which I guess is kind of like the Criterion. It actually has the fuller documentary bloodlines on it, whereas the Criterion had a cut down, edited version. I had City of Angels, which goes for killer now. Like, that is a mega price for some reason. I had Dances with Wolves, the special extended edition, and that was a really nice box. I had Elvis Presley Aloha from Hawaii. Now, that was a really good picture transfer and a really good concert. I believe it was only like an hour and a bit long, but it was interesting to watch. And again, it was in really good high quality considering it was a transmission through a satellite. I had the Fawlty Tower Season 1 and 2, which I think, is hard to find these days. I had the Freddie Mercury Tribute, which isn't like a massive rare one, but you don't see it like online that much. So I imagine when you do see it, it's going to go for like £100 now. I think I actually paid like 90 quid for it back in the day. I also had the Criterion of the Game. Good Will Hunting, I had that. Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes. Now that one, it was a pan and scan version of it. But I don't know, it was like an anamorphic thing. It was really weird. It was, I don't know, the picture quality was really good. It was really good. Not anamorphic, sorry. It was, analog stereo. But the picture quality was really good for pan and scan. I had the Highlander 10th Anniversary Director's Cut. That goes for megabucks nowadays. I also had the NTSC copy cut of The Howling, which again is about 60 quid, 70 quid now. I think I paid 20 for mine. I had Jackie Brown, which was considered a late release, 98, but I think it's pretty a common one. I also had a JFK and Beyond the JFK Question of Conspiracy box set, that blue one. Really nice. Enjoyed that. Jumanji Special Edition, but I think that was just the regular PAL edition. I think they were all special editions. I had the special edition of The Lawnmower Man and the theatrical cut. And The Lawnmower Man, it does say it was letterboxed, but I've seen people say that the one they've got isn't. So I don't know if I had a special version or not, but I had quite a lot of films. I had like some basic, like all the Lethal Weapons, all the like. I had 2 copies of Jurassic Park. I had the CAV box set and the standard version. I don't know why I had that. I guess one was 1 disc, or I don't know. That's a bit weird. That why I had 2 copies of Jurassic Park. I had Lock, Stock, and 2 Smoking Barrels. That is a hard to find disc. The limited edition of Mary Poppins, which I think is relatively easy to find. I'm not really sure, but what I haven't seen going that much for is Michael Jackson's Video Greatest Hits, His Story 1. That I don't see at all online. And I imagine searching for it'd probably be quite high bucks. I had Mighty Joe Young, which came out in 99. I had a few 1999 discs, which are considered late releases. So Mighty Joe Young, I haven't seen that pop up. I had the Criterion of Monty Python, Life of Brian. I had the collector's edition of Mrs. Doubtfire. That was a really nice release. I had the signature collection of The Mummy, which really goes for a lot of money now. I had the special edition of Natural Born Killers, that thick box set, chunky one, and The Nightmare Before Christmas, which was even chunkier. They're really good releases. I mean, Naked Gun, all the films. I had Out of Sight collection, signature collection. I had a Perfect Murder, which I don't see anybody selling. I had Pleasantville, the special edition. Pleasantville, that is expensive now. I had Queen's Champions of the World Greatest Hits Flicks 1 and 2 and 3. That goes for like 300 quid now. It's on its own, and some dude got that with all these other ones I've been mentioning for 600 quid with my player. I mean, I feel like I just got totally ripped off, but we're talking back in 2017 here, so I guess, I still think I could have got more. But I wish I hadn't got any of it. I wish I still had all these discs. I had Live in Budapest, Queen, Live in Japan, Final live in Japan, the Magic Years Volumes 1 to 3, live in Rio. I mean, oh god, what I would not give to have these back now. I had pretty much all the Disney films by the looks of it. And I had the Rock Criterion, you know, as well, which was a really nice set. I had Rush Hour, which I don't see that much of popping up. And Saving Private Ryan, which can go for a pretty penny. Criterion Silence of the Lambs, which I think is quite a common one nowadays. Obviously, Star Wars, I had The Faces. I had a pan and scan of Star Wars original pressing. I had The Phantom Menace. I had the both PAL and American special edition box set. I had 2 copies of the Terminator 2 and that really nice Terminator release. I had the thing on Signature Collection. I had the Video Essentials and the THX demo disc, obviously. I had What Dreams May Come. I mean, that one goes for over like 100 to 200 quid now. Like, I had, I reckon, at least 3 grand's worth, perhaps, if you were to sell them all individually. I had all the X-Files case files. So, I mean, that alone. And also, I had the X-Files first season, volume 1. That was from Japan, actually. So I did have a Japanese release. And I had Wyatt Earp special edition. Like, honestly, I so regret selling them. I so wish I still had them. And now that I've got like a very good setup, I have a very good projector, which I got that projector after selling my Laserdisc. So I never got to use the projector I have with this Laserdisc player. I had this smaller, cheaper, shittier one, which did a good job. The screenshots here of it being used, it did a good job, but it would be nowhere as near as good now as what it could be. Like, I've got a proper Kramer scaler now, so it could pretty much go up to 4K on my TV, or it could go full 1080p on the projector, in good scaled quality. Like, so wish. So yeah, I mean, as of recording this video, I haven't got a Laserdisc player. I've got a load of Laserdiscs, you know, stacked here, but I haven't got any player. I'm on the lookout for one, and yeah, I hope I get one soon. Really, I want it to be a champagne one that plays both regions, because my amplifier's champagne in color, and have AC3 out playing both sides. So someone's told me like a DLV or DVL 909 or the 515, although the 515 is black. I don't really want a black one, I want a champagne one. But yeah, those were all the films I had, and I just can't believe I did what I did back then. Guys, if your partner tries to get you to sell your collection, you sell your partner first, because that's not love. That really isn't love. If your partner is getting you to sell what you collect, what you enjoy, no partner has the authority to tell the other partner what to do with their things, you know. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this. Join me. I'm sure there'll be another Laserdisc video coming soon. There's going to be a lot more Laserdisc content. I haven't actually even made any videos yet going through all my Laserdiscs, which I will be doing soon, and shouting out to the people who I bought them from, and where possible, links below to go and buy from them. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, and also, I also got a package coming from Japan, making its way across the open seas. So when that does arrive, I'll go through that, and we'll see what we have. Thank you so much for watching this, guys. Take care. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.